we will share my screen so we can start our math. And I will have to deal with that later. Close that for now. We're going to go to our classwork. And if you are at home, you can see what today's going to look like. So we're in the week of September 8th through the 11th. And today, your assignment is under, should say math, actually. Oh, yes. So third graders, we have started a new topic. So you have math lesson 1.1, multiply with 5 to 15. So you can go back to this if you are remote, and you guys could as well too if we needed to. So here's what you're going to need. You will need your large math whiteboard. It looks like this if you are at home. You will also need a dry erase marker and a sock. And if you are in person, you should be checking to see if you have these supplies. You will need a pencil, your math workbook, and your math spiral handy. That's a lot of things to think about. Okay, next thing I'd like you to do, right now we're going to complete the math lesson, then I'll tell you about Think Central. But for now, we're going to go to our Google Slides. It's on your assignment. You don't need to do it because I'm sharing my screen with you. Okay, so today, our learning target is, and I would love for someone to read it for us. Go ahead, my dear Haley. What are we going to work on today? Right here, identify. Well said, Haley. We're going to identify and use patterns to multiply with 5. And why are we going to do that? Who else would like to read? Go for it, Sunny. Involve. Okay, if you didn't hear that at home, the reason is we're going to have real world math problems and we're going to need to know how to multiply with 5s. 5s is a fun one to start with. And I'm going to read your success criteria. Here's what we should be able to do by the end of math today. We should be able to circle groups of 5 on your math board. We should be able to write multiplication equations to represent equal groups, write addition equations to match that multiplication, and then identify patterns in the 5s count bys. We're also going to work on multiplying 5s using our fingers. Now, I remember my daughter was told when she was in 2nd grade, you can't use your fingers. In here, we do use our fingers. They are a manipulative. I still do it. My daughter notices. I'm like, what day are we going? And I'm like, okay, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Oh, okay, I got it. It's just a tool, guys. It's nothing to be ashamed of. We encourage that you use it. And then eventually you might not need it, or you could be like me and you're tactile and you like to use it. It's all good. Okay, so what is multiplication? I want you to be thinking about that answer to that question. What is multiplication? Does anybody have schema already about what multiplication is? Sunny? Multiplication is like groups. So it's like groups of 5 or 3. Okay, so Sunny said, kids at home, that multiplication is like groups of 5 or 3. So I'm going to add a word into that. Equal groups, right? You have to have equal groups in order to multiply. So I want you to write down some things that come in equal groups in your math spiral. Take a minute, get your pencil. What things come in equal groups? Like they have the same number in your math spiral. Get your pencil and your math spiral. What are some things? The math spiral is one of these spirals. What does this be out? You want to come to math spiral? It'll look at you, right? There you go. And then have something wait, I want you to write your math spiral. Spiral we got? You didn't bring a pencil?
No, I didn't either.
Oh, no. No, you stay, no. Okay, what are some things you thought of that come in equal groups? If you are at home, write it in the chat. I'd love to hear from you. So I'm looking in the chat. I don't see anything. What things come in equal groups? Any ideas? It's you and me today, Sunny. What do you got? What comes in equal groups? Like, what do you, maybe you buy at the store, always has the same number.
Like, if it always has like the same number, like 4.
Like what? What comes in a group of 4? 4 wheels on a quad, right? Wheels come in groups of 4. Tires come in groups of 4. What else?
A tricycle has 3.
Tricycle has 3 wheels.
Bicycle has 2.
Bicycles have 2. What about our fingers?
10.
5 and 5 or equal or 10. Yes.
Henry says 10.
Henry, whoopoo, sparkles, good for you. So a lot of things come in equal groups. Okay, we're gonna watch a quick video. Let's see if it'll work.
I'm here to learn more about multiplication. I could really use some help. So do you think you can help me? Awesome, thank you so much. My friend the robot is here to help us. So let's go learn about multiplication. I have here a multiplication problem of 5 times 3. Some of you may already know multiplication, but I need a little help. Maybe my robot friend could bring in something to help me out. Wait a minute. My robot brought me some cookies, but how is that going to help me? I know. He wants to look at different ways to multiply, and drawing a picture is a good way to do this. When multiplying, we can look at the 5 as being the number of groups, and the 3 as the number of objects in the group. These cookies show this concept. There are 5 cookies, and they are the number of groups. On each cookie, there are 3 chocolate chips, and they are the number of objects in each group. Can you please tell me how many chocolate chips there are in all?
Anyone?
15.
What do you think at home?
Chips. Great job.
If you said 15, give me a double thumbs up.
Groups and 3 chocolate chips on each
Good
cookie.
job,
There's a
Astria.
number of objects in each group.
Good job, Haley.
Counting all the chocolate chips gives us 15. There is something really cool about multiplication. Take a
Good
look.
job,
at
Henry. Sorry.
Here we have 3 cookies, and on each cookie there are 5 chocolate chips. What we just did was switch the number of groups and number of objects. The 3 is now the number of groups, and the 5 is now the number of objects in each group. If we count the chocolate chips, do we still get 15? Well, let's do that, but let's do it by skip counting by 5s.
Ready?
We start counting with this cookie. 5,
5,
10,
10,
15.
15. That's
Great
using your
job.
fingers.
We still get the same answer if we switch it around. Let's try a new problem. Here is 3 multiplied by 4. We are going to use a picture again to understand this problem. Here are 3 cookies, which shows us the number of groups. Can you tell me how many chocolate chips I should put on each cookie?
How many?
4.
Elena, how
We
many?
need 4
Put
chocolate
your
chips
pencil
on each
down.
cookie to show the number of
Pencil down,
objects
whole
in each
body.
group.
Thank you.
Can you count the chocolate chips and tell me what 3 times 4 is? You can use skip counting or count by ones.
12.
The answer is 12.
Wow,
3
you guys,
times
awesome.
3
Good
multiplied
job.
by 4 is 12. And we not only know the answer, but we know how multiplication works. I hope you learned a lot like I did. Visit me next time to learn more about math. Now let's eat these cookies.
Okay, so let's go ahead and get out of that. Doesn't want to let me go. Yep, when in doubt. Okay, good job, guys. So today, one of our success criteria was to be able to circle groups of 5. So you are going to need your board that looks like this. You're going to need to get your dry erase marker and your sock, and I'm going to model this for you. And as we go, we're going to kind of talk about the concept of multiplication in equal groups. So I want you to watch as I go and circle just one group of 5. So wait and watch. And I have my book. Okay, so you are going to take your marker and you're going to circle one group of 5. If you did that, give me a thumbs up. One group of 5. Now, we also said one of our learning targets was to write multiplication equations to represent equal groups. So this is our first group. At the top, I want you to write 5 equals, and that's not aligned, 1 times 5. Because that is showing us that that's one group of 5. So you want to write kind of small, because we're going to keep going on this. We're going to have to get a lot of problems written. So we're just going to go with, this is one group of 5, right? Because one group of 5 is 5. 1 times 5 equals what? 5. Okay, so now we're going to circle the second group of 5. So I can count the dot, the squares, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's my second group of 5. How many squares do I have now? Anyone, microphone answer. If I count from here up, 2 groups of 5 would give me how many? 5, 10. Nice. So 10 equals 2 groups of 5, which is really what that represents. 2 equal groups of 5. So as I come around, I want to see that you're doing what I'm doing on the board. So let's see if you are struggling. Raise your hand so I can help you.
Mrs. Oven, can you tell the friends that are at home to show me when they have done when they're finished?
Yes. Okay, kiddos, can you hold up your board to show us what you've done? Mrs. Harrison's going to do a quick check. Can you show us your 2 groups of 5 and your equations?
All right, video's got it.
She's checking in with you. Nice job, Angelique. Can I see the equations? So make sure you have 5 equals 1 times 5. So this might look a little weird to start with the product or the answer, but that is how we're going to do it. It doesn't matter what side the answer's on, they're balanced, right? The equal sign is just showing balance. This is the same as this. It can go many ways. So we're going to practice doing it this way, because as you get older, going to middle school and high school, you really need to understand that concept, that it doesn't have to be 2 plus 2 equals 4. It can be 4 equals 2 plus 2. It can be the other way. All right. As I look around, we're looking good. Let's keep going. I bet you can predict what we're going to do next. Let's count. 1, 2, 5, another group of 5. Remember, they have to be equal, and we're looking at 5 count 5s today. So, how many would that be if we have 3 groups of 5? Let's count by 5. 5, 10, 15. So now we have 15 is the same as 3 groups of 5. Looking good. So on the side here, I'm going to introduce a new word for you. The answer to these multiplication equations or problems are called products. So 5, 10, and 15, there are count 5s, but they're the products. So let's say that word in a high, squeaky voice. Ready? Products. Say it with me. And now say it in a deep voice. Okay, now whisper it. So that is what we call the answer to a multiplication equation. They are called products. Let me hear you at home. Products. Okay, when we are talking about the two numbers we are multiplying, those are called our factors. Let's all say that together. Factors. Let's say it in a, what kind of voice? How about a scary voice? Factors. How about in a sweet, nice voice? Factors. Good job. All right, let's keep going. Our next group, we're going to count another group of 5 because multiplication is about equal groups. If they're not equal, it's not going to work. So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What's our next product? Cooper? A little louder? Let's count. 5, 10, 15, 20. It's the same as 4 groups of 5. You should start seeing some patterns, and that's one of our success criteria as well. Make sure you have a little bunch in here. You want to write kind of small because you're going to get a bunch of equations in. Do your best. So that's the 5. Wow, Henrik's on top of it. So guys, if you can write just the way I'm writing, there is a reason to the madness. We can see some patterns, and that is the goal, right? One of our success criteria today. Hey, you're getting it, Sonny. Remind those people that show. Okay, do a quick check. Hold up your boards, people at home. Mrs. Harrison's checking it out. All right, let's keep going. Let's count another 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What's the product?
25.
25. 5 groups of 5. So here's what I'd like to do. I'm thinking you're getting the idea. If you would like to keep going on your own at your own pace, I think you should. So here's what I'd like you to stop at. Stop at 50. Who can repeat what I just said?
Stop at 50.
Oh, you're such good listeners. Okay, so you can keep going, circling groups of 5. I'll come around and kind of check in on you. If you're working from home, when you have yours all the way up to 50, hold up your board. If you're not sure what to do, write your question in chat so we can answer it for you. My second graders don't know about chat. I'm messaging them and they're not doing it.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. This is your math. No, I'm kind of expecting you to keep going. All right, some of us need a little more guidance, so if you are needing a little more guidance, I will keep going. The rest of you, you're working hard. Go for it. All right, let's count by fives. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here we go. You should have gotten 30. How many groups did it take to get to 30? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 groups of 5. Who thinks they know the next one and could just tell it to us? Ellie, what do you think it is?
The next one is
35. And what would the equation be?
7 times
7 groups of 5. Next, you got another one for me?
5.
40. And what does that equal?
8 times 5.
All right. Who else? Anybody want to share? The next one, Sunny?
45 times 9.
9 groups of 5, or 9 times 5. Miss Elena? 50, and that's where we said we'd stop. And what does that equal? 10 groups of 5. Hey, here's what I'd like you to do. If you are finished in your math spiral, whatever you do not erase your board. We are not done with these boards. We're going to do more. But before we do, I want you to write down in your math spiral, at least, the dentist doesn't know I'm teaching. Write down at least one pattern you notice in our count buys for today. One pattern. So write it in your math spiral. And you know how you could really impress your teachers?
Go to 100.
You could, no, we're not going to do 100. Please stop at 50. Is use the words products and factors in your observation. So I might say something like, I noticed the products, blah, 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 blah. I noticed that the first factor, blah, 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 blah. I noticed the second factor, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so use your pencil now, and in your math spiral, write one pattern that you notice. Remember, we said we could identify patterns in the fives count buys? That's what I'm looking for now. And it's good practice remembering how to write. I think a lot of us took a break from writing. And when you're writing, make sure you use your capitals and punctuation. Capital at the beginning of your sentence, and especially if you're writing the word I. When I stands alone, it should be capitalized. That's the pet peeve of mine. Seeing that little I all by itself. So what do you know? Oh, fractions you mean? So I'm going to write it here for you. Here's the word fraction, fractions, factors. I'm skipping to a whole new unit. Factors, products, if you couldn't see that. There you go. You want to put that in your, you're writing down what you notice.
Robin, will you remind my second graders to show me their work?
Yes.
Doing great. But they're working hard, I can tell.
Okay, second graders, can you hold up your boards for Mrs. Harrison? She would love to see your thinking. Thank you. Okay, I hear some patterns. I am going to quickly just go to my document camera I think if it, yep, I am. And I'm going to capture some of your thinking. So what did you notice? And you're writing these noticings in your math spiral. Serene, what is the pattern you saw? Okay, so maybe if you listen, you'll hear from other people some of the patterns. We're just looking for things that are repeating. I'll be right there. Anybody notice something? I know, Lucas, what did you notice? Okay, so he noticed that the products count by 5. So LS, good thinking. What other things did you notice, Sunny?
I noticed when you would go by 5, you would create a newer number and then you can make more groups.
Can you say that slower one more time? Max, pencils down.
Whenever you added another 10, you could make more groups.
So it kept going in sequential order. You add a group every time. So the first factor counts by ones, right? So the first factor, which is the group size. So whole body listening, so no whistling. The first factor is the group size and counts by ones.
And so you should have your spiral open, your math spiral open, and you should be writing some of these down.
So yeah, if you didn't get anything, here's some ideas for you.
You found hers if you're not sure about your own.
And we're still thinking about what did we notice? Did anyone see anything else? So guys, quick reminder, we're not whistling because remember, whole body listening means your mouth is what? Quiet, so we can focus on our thinking. Abby, what did you notice? Here, let's go back. What else do you see? Factors? Yes, so the first one goes in counting order. Does anybody notice something about the second factor? Maddie? Yeah, the second factor is all 5s. The second factor is always 5. That's because it's our count by. And so we are going to always have 5 for that. Okay, did anybody notice anything else about the products? Let's go back to the products. Do you see anything? 5, let's say them together. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. Do you see anything interesting there? What do you notice? They count, the products count by 5s. We did say that. Do you see anything else, Serene?
Right, but can you notice the N number was always N number is always a 0 or 5?
That's what I was looking for. So the number in the ones place, thank you, Serene, is always a 5 or a 0. Look at that. 5, 0, 5, 0, 5, 0, 5, 0, 5, 0, which is really what patterns are, something that repeats. So thank you, Serene. The digit in the ones place is always a 0 or 5. What's your last name again, Serene? Last name again? Varner, SV. Thank you. Okay, so let's go back. We're gonna, did you have one more? Okay, you can just set it down. I'll get to, did you have another one, Paxton? They count down the products? So let's go back. Do you mean they count up from 5 to 50? Are you looking at the digit in the tens place? 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5. That's excellent. So you see a pattern happening in the tens place with the tens digit. If you don't know what he's talking about, look at that digit in the tens place. There's 2 1s, then 2 2s, 2 3s, 2 4s, 1 5. But if we kept going, could you predict what it would be?
2 5.
It would be another 5, right? Because it'd be 55. So excellent, Paxton. I'll write that.
No, it's August, not Paxton.
Paxton's the one who told me the pattern. That's why I,
Oh.
yeah, he was telling me about the ones. That's what I was saying. So the digit in the tens place counts, I don't even know how to say that, counts by ones, but doubles it. Is that okay, Paxton? Does that work for you? Okay, great job, you guys. So now we have to go back to our success criteria. This is what makes me make sure I've done everything we're supposed to do. We've got a couple more things to do. We need to write addition equations to match the multiplication. So you need your boards for this. Now we're going to go back to our dry erase markers, using all kinds of things today. And I want to make sure you realize, and I don't know that I've even said it yet, but multiplication and addition are related. Let's say that again. Multiplication and addition are related. You're going to, by the end of the year, you'll have this figured out. Really, all multiplication is repeated addition. You just repeat it again and again. But that's why you have to know about equal groups. So if I were looking at 5 equals 1 group of 5, I'm not adding anything to that, right? So that's just going to be equals 5. So go ahead and write this on your board. But when I look at the equation 10 equals 2 groups of 5, that's really saying 5 plus 5. Because think about it. If 10 is the same as 2 times 5, isn't 5 plus 5 the same as 10? What's 5 plus 5? 10. 2 groups of 5. You're just adding 5s together. That's why it's so easy to multiply with 5s, because since kindergarten, what have you been doing? Counting by 5s. This is my favorite to start with. So let's try to predict what this one would look like. If 15 equals 3 times 5, then the equation should be, Max, what do you think, Liz? 5 plus 5 plus 5, right? Because there's 3 groups of 5. Remember that first factor is your group size. How many in your group? So Mrs. Harrison is checking to make sure you're doing this work, right? Nope, you're good. So you're kind of just doing what I'm doing here. We're going to give you a minute to catch up. Can you do the addition like I'm doing in black? Get your markers in black. Can you do the addition? It's the same line.
All right, how's the addition going this
Looking good, Gabe.
Okay, so then next time 2 times 5, we're gonna say 5 plus 5, right?
Looking good back here.
Tell the second graders to show me their boards. Yeah. Second graders, show me their boards.
1 5, then 2 5s, and 3 5s, right? Next to 15. Nice. All right, Evie. Now I'm looking for, if 20 equals 4 times 5, what would the addition problem be, Evie? 4 groups of 5. And second graders, make sure you hold up your work for Mrs. Harrison.
5 plus 5
I love it. You're getting the pattern.
It's kind of like it looks like stairs.
So you're looking at the number of groups of 5 and adding that number of 5 together. So if you didn't see the pattern yet, I'm going to try to show you. Here's your first factor, 1 group of 5. So there's your 1 5. 2 groups of 5. Now we have 2 5s we're adding together because it's the same as 5 plus 5. 3 groups of 5. Here are your 3 5s. 1, 2, 3. 4 groups of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're on 5 times 5. Lucas, any ideas? How many 5s would I show in addition? 1. How many?
This one.
5. 2 groups of 5. 3 groups of 5. 4 groups of 5. 5 groups of 5. So if I add 5 groups of 5, I'm going to get 25. Let's try it. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Okay, anybody want to volunteer for the next one? Sunny Poe. 30 equals 6 times 5, or 6 groups of 5. How would we show the addition problem?
You add 6, 5, 6 times.
Excellent. 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 groups of 5 is 30. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. We're skip counting. Same idea. Skip counting. Count 5. Equal groups. 7 groups of 5. Cooper, what are you thinking?
5 plus 5. 7 times.
4, 5, 6, 7. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 groups of 5, 35. Karen. 1, 2, 3. I gotta write a little smaller now. 5, 6, 7, 8. You guys are getting it. We only have 2 left.
Oh,
Haley, what about 9 groups of 5? How many 5s will I add together?
you'll have to add 5 plus 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 5.
Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It should be going out, but I thought I'd run out of room, so I started writing smaller. And 9 groups of 5 would be the same as 9 times 5, which is 45. And last but not least, how about Gabe? 10 times 5, how many 5s would I add together to get 50? Very good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So my question to you, is multiplication related to addition?
Yes.
Yes, it is. If it's repeated addition, not just regular addition. If I said 4 plus 5 equals 9, that's not repeated. It has to be the same number you're adding together. So your add-ins have to be the same in order for that to work, to use multiplication instead. So if I wanted to know how many fingers and toes I have all together,
20.
I could do 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5. 5, 10, 15, 20. Or I can multiply. I have 1 group of 5, 2 groups of 5, 3 groups of 5, 4 groups of 5. So 4 times 5 would be, it'd still be 20. It's the same thing. All right, guys, you are doing a great job. Let's move on. And if you didn't get all of those written, it's okay. My goal is not that you get all of that written. My goal was that you understood that addition and multiplication are related as long as it's repeated addition with equal groups. Okay. Okay, so we did that slide. All right, now let's get rid of all this. Here's what I'd like to do. Our last success criteria is to count by 5 using our fingers. And I wanted to show you, you have this in your room, and this is Harrison's class, and you have it in my room. You guys have it on here if you're on remote learning. This is a multiplication table. I want to show you how it works. In yellow, we have our factors. Some are going horizontal, some are going vertical. I want you to focus on the 5s. So watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to highlight the 5 row, and I'm going to highlight the 5 column. So we're going to use this to help us. You will notice that there are some different symbols for multiplication. And years ago, I taught a long time, we never did these symbols. But it's a really good thing because I have high schoolers and I see their math. Well, I can't even understand their math anymore, but they use these symbols as you get into the older grades. So it's good to know it now. Here's a symbol that means multiplication. It's just a dot. An asterisk also means multiplication. And across this old-fashioned one that I learned, the X is the multiplication symbol as well. Your parents might be frustrated by that because they may never have seen it. It's your job to teach them that they're just new symbols that we use for multiplication, okay? You don't have to have that memorized today. We'll be talking about it. All right, so the last success criteria I had was multiply 5s using your fingers. We're going to use this to help us. When I say it, I want you to hold up the finger and say it with me. Ready? 1 times 5 is 5. 2 times 5.
10,
3 times 5.
15,
Let me see your fingers. Hold them up. Hold them up. 4 times 5.
20,
5 times 5.
25,
6 times 5.
30,
7 times 5.
35,
8 times 5.
40,
9 times 5.
45,
10 times 5.
50,
Okay, let me show you another way. We're going to go across this time. 1 times 5 is 5. You can prove it by just saying 5. 2 times 5. What if I forget? Watch. 5. Do it with me. 5. 10. 3 times 5. 5. 10. 15. 4 times 5. 5. 10. 15. 20. 5 times 5. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. 6 times 5. Do it with me, Abby. Fingers are up. 6 times 5. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Hey, shake them out. We're almost there. 7 times 5. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. 8 times 5. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Shake them out. 9 times 5. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. Last but not least, 10 times 5. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. All right, let's just try one. 4 times 5. Who thinks they can figure it out? 4 times 5. Surname. What is it? Try it. 4 times 5. Try it with that strategy. 5. What'd you get? Excellent. Let's try another one. 6 times 5. Go ahead, my dear Elena. 6 times 5 is 40 or 30? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. All right, 8 times 5. What do you got, Ellie?
8 times 5 is 40.
And if you're not sure, Evie, you're going to put up 8 fingers and count by what?
5, 4,
Excuse me?
5.
5.
My friends at home, they're also counting on their fingers.
Excellent. So guys, again, you might think, oh, 5s are easy. Yeah, when we're going in order. But as soon as I pull out 5 times 4 or 7 times 5, sometimes we lose it. So don't forget this strategy. All right, I have one more thing for you here, and actually probably more than one. I think I'm going to skip that, Mrs. Harrison, unless you are okay with it. Can I use our time? I can? I know I'm supposed to be done. Actually, I still have 5 minutes.
Yeah, you take 3:15.
Okay, and I might have mine do the thing central in their own room.
Yes, I think that's good.
Is that okay? Okay. All right, I do just work on that. So this is in your math workbook. Go ahead and open up your math workbook. Mrs. Harrison's giving me permission. We're using all of our tools today. So fun. So it's going to be page 6 for you guys. And I'm sorry, mine's a little blurry. Go ahead and find at home your math workbook with the elephant on it.
Can we erase?
Page 6. Just hold on to that for a minute because you can refer to it. And for you guys here, it's page 6. We're just going to kind of get the idea here. Did you see Haley? All right. All right, so just follow along with me. An equation shows that, this is what I was just talking about, I love it. An equation shows that 2 quantities or expressions are equal. Oh, let's check our bodies real quick. Whole body listening. Thanks, guys. That means your mouths are quiet, eyes are on the speaker, brain's thinking about what's being said, hands and feet are down still. You guys have been awesome. I'm so proud of you. Let's keep it up. An equation shows that 2 quantities or expressions are equal, and an equal sign is used to show the 2 sides are equal.
Guys, what does the page look like?
Have you ever seen a balance? When you put more on one side of the scale or the balance, it goes down, right? And one side goes up, the lighter side. If the other side gets something heavier like rocks and you've got feathers on this one, it's going to be like this. But when they're right next to each other, with an think of my head as an equal sign right there, they're balanced, they're the same. And that's what the equal sign really does. That's why you're going to see us move things around it. So in a multiplication equation, the numbers you multiplied are called factors. The answer total is called the safety product. Okay, so they're looking at 3 times 5 is 15. We're going to look real quick here. It says to write each total. We have 4 groups of 5, and you can use your fingers. That's the same as 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5. Go ahead and write what you think that equals in your math workbook. And I'm going to pull out of my handy dandy pad and see what you think. Ethan's not here. Charlie B's not here. Lila. What do you think? 20. Give her a thumbs up if you agree. Excellent. Okay, now let's try 7 times 5. And notice the symbol's a little different. Now we have the dot. If that's the same as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 5, you're adding them. You could put 7 fingers up and count by 5s. What would the answer be? Paxton. If I'm going too fast, just tell me. 35. We can double check it. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. Wow, you guys are rocking it. Let's keep going. Write the 5 additions that show each multiplication, then write the total. Oh, we got to write some 5s. Let's see if we can do our best. If I have 6 times 5, how many groups of 5 is that? Elena? How many groups of 5 do they mean when they say 6 times 5? No 7 in that equation. What number do you see in that equation? Okay, do you see another factor? 6. So this is the number of groups. That's our count 5. So we're going to do 6 groups of 5. 5 plus 5 plus 5. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then go ahead and write your answer. What would that equal? Oh, okay, I'm going to give you one to half. So guys, you should all be writing it. If you have a problem, like my pencil broke, all you gotta do is raise your hand and we'll be glad to help you.
I'm letting him use my pencil.
We really don't want you to not. Oh, it works? Okay.
I'll let him use my pencil.
We skip the next step. I don't know if I got time for things. Yeah, do whatever you want. I mean, yeah, so you can out of the cow by the time that you log in.
Right. Okay. Okay, what did you get? I love Ellie's working hard. Lucas, what'd you get? 30. Fabulosus. Josh, I haven't heard from you back there. Let's see if you can help me with this one. 9 times 5. How many groups of 5 would I want? If it's 9 groups of 5, how many 5s am I going to draw? What's our first factor in 9 times 5? Good job. So I'm going to need 9 5s. 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And he said it's 45. And I could check it. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. So I think I'll do that in this series and I'll finish this. I have a little song and then we'll wrap it up and it should be perfect on time.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
So that'll be
feel free
perfect.
to go over the compensate.
And it's the first lesson, so I don't need to have
I'm not worried about
it. Did someone have a question?
Oh, I think that's in the back.
Okay, I'm gonna give you a couple minutes to do numbers 5 through 10 on your own. Here's what you have for tools. You should have your board. You can use your board to help you. You should have your fingers. I hope they're still there. You can use your fingers to help you. Go ahead and take the next few minutes. I'm going to turn the lights on because I just realized how dark it is in here for kids. Sorry about that. You can always tell me. And see if you can get those numbers, and you can look at numbers 11 and 12. We'll go over those together if you want. But go ahead and do those. Any questions, so you guys know what you're doing? All right, I'll come around if I can be of help. So remember, you can use your chart or you can use your fingers. done like that. So he's gonna work on numbers 11 and 12. If you are finished, work on numbers 11 and 12.
What about? He went all the way to us. But then he.
All right, guys, I'm gonna have you check your work. I think Gabe has the first one. What's 8 times 5? 40. 2 times 5. Go for it. 10. 5 times 5. Maddie. Let's try it. 5 times 5. 5, 10, 15, 20, 20. What should it be?
Good afternoon, Bobcat. Happy first day back in person learning. It was so great to see happier faces under your mask today. First of all, here are your announcements for this afternoon. Bus riders will remain in your room until called. So if you are a bus rider, we want you to stay in your room. We will call buses as they arrive. Staff with no students, if you could please go out front with your radio.
Voices up, Frederick. We need to hear this.
We appreciate it. Students will exit using the same entrance that they used this morning. So if you came in your classroom door, you will exit through your classroom door. Second grade will go out between pod 1 and 2, and fifth grade will go out by Mr. Jason's office. Bobcats, make sure you're bringing those warm clothes at least for tomorrow and maybe Thursday. It's supposed to stay chilly out there. We love seeing the winter coats today. Maybe some gloves and mittens to keep those little fingers warm. Great job on your first day. Have a wonderful evening. And good night.
All right, Evie, 4 times 5. Let's count. Put up 4 fingers. Count for me. Go ahead, Evie. Hold them up. 4 fingers. Count by 5. 20. All right. 10 times 5. Microphone answer. 50. 7 times 5. Everybody. 30. 35. Nicely done. Now, numbers 11 and 12. I just wanted you to look at the number of circles or ovals. You should have seen 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in each. And we already know what 4 times 5 is. What do we get? 20. And number 12, anybody know how many ovals? How many, Max? 7. And how many inside? 7 times 5, and what did we get? 35. I have a quick song for you. You can.
I'm gonna shut down.
Okay. Yep.
Second graders are logging off.
All right. Sounds good. The rest of you, we will sing our song as we go. You guys can erase your boards as you listen to our multiplication song. if it wants to work.
Numberup.com's complete digital library of math videos is now available ad-free and child-safe.
It's only 17 seconds.
It's worth distance learning. We're offering a 30-day free trial for all new members.
The multiples of 5 by Number Rock. Are you ready?
You can erase your boards while you're watching. We get your things together.
1 times 5 is 5. 2 times 5 is 10. 3 times 5 is 15. 4 times 5 is 20. 5 times 5 is 25. 6 times 5 is 30. 7 times 5 is 35. 8 times 5 is 40. 9 times 5 is 45. 10 times 5 is 50. 11 times 5 is 55. 12
I
times 5
think the
is
sucks
60.
behind it.
Yes, I have your feet to make you get out of your seat and stomp your feet. Yeah.
Jensen's got the beat.
Are you ready? What times 5 is 5? 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 5 is 15. 4 times 5 is 20. 5 times 5 is 25. 6 times 5 is 30. 7 times 5 is 35. 8 times 5 is 40. 9 times 5 is 45. 10 times 5 is 50. 11 times 5 is 55.
Oh, we're getting really high there. Okay, guys, because the time, we'll play this again tomorrow because we'll still be working on it. Mrs. Harrison's class, thank you for being here. Did you stop my recording? Did you stop the recording? Okay, good. Okay, and the
Graders, we're all dropping off.
okay, thank you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Great job today. See you tomorrow. Bye, guys. See you tomorrow.